Algebra 1, Lesson 17, Factors and Coefficients, Terms, and the Distributive Property. The first two topics are stuff that we'll be talking about in class. That's more memorization stuff. The main thing we're going to focus here on this video is distributive property. So, on the practice, we'll be doing A, B, E, and F. Starting with A, they tell us to evaluate 4 times 5 minus 3 by adding and then multiplying. So they want us to use traditional order of operations. And then on B, they want us to solve the exact same thing, but by multiplying using distributive property and then adding. So we'll start with A. Adding and then multiplying. So simplifying this parenthesis first. So they want us to add 5 plus negative 3. 5 plus negative 3 combines to give us 2. So then we have 2 in parentheses times 4. 4 times 2 equals positive 8 for our final answer. Now for B, we have to do it multiplying then adding. So we're using distributive property here. If we're going to multiply a number outside of parentheses by a parenthetical statement, we have to multiply this number by each term inside. So 4 times 5 gives us 20. 4 times 3 gives us 12. We insert that minus sign. 20 minus 12 equals 8. And we see that we get the same answer either way. So problem A is the way that we have been doing things, and problem B is the way we need to learn how to be doing things. And the reason why we need to use distributive property is because when we get to problems like E and F, it is not possible to subtract 3p from xy. They're unlike terms. We cannot subtract them, but we can distribute them. So on E, we're going to go ahead and use distributive property here. 2m times xy is going to become 2mxy. Put our subtraction sign. 2m times 3p is going to be 6mp. And that's our answer. That's as simple as we can make it. And then F, we're going to do the same thing. We'll use distributive property, and then here we see that on F we have 1, 2, 3 terms. So we multiply this by 1, 2, 3 terms. xy times A is going to give us axy. Xy times B is going, put the plus sign. Xy times B is going to give us positive bxy. Put the minus sign. Xy times 2c gives us 2cxy. And that's our final answer. If you're confused about how I'm choosing to write these letters, I simply choose to write them in alphabetical order. That's the simplest way for me, and that's the easiest way for me to make sure that I'm not missing any terms. But if I wrote it in any other order, like for example, I could have wrote yxa, and that's the same as writing axy. All the same number. Doesn't matter what order you put them in, but alphabetical is preferred.